Hi, Jon. Thanks for joining me in these viola videos for ESTA and Hidersine. I am officially a violinist, although...
I'm sorry for your loss.
Well, there you go. What can you do? But I do play the viola. I love playing the viola.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I met my husband because I play the viola.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing to be able to do violin and viola,
yes,
of course. But perhaps you could tell us, what are the main differences between the violin and the viola?
Obviously the fundamentals of technique are the same, but the nuances are different. So because we've got a longer string, we have to use much more of the sink into the string rather than the start. So if you're thinking of articulation, that you're going to use a sort of soft drawing sound to get the back of the instrument to produce the sound, and then it travels well on a violin. You can get away with just using the top a little bit more. And for that, so you have to have a slightly softer but heavier bow arm, and you have to try and be careful not to have everything with a ka, otherwise it kills the sound. We use different parts of the bow for that. We use different, in terms of the left hand, we use much more of the pads. So as I call it, the expensive part of the finger, which is all the way back there, rather than at the tips there, because otherwise it doesn't produce the sound. And of course, we also have to find a viola that fits us and suits our physique, and we need to make sure that the viola is fitting us, not the other way around.
Yeah, and the strings are quite a bit thicker, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, not thick like a double bass, of course. No. But I always find when I'm swapping between the two, I really, really notice that. And the fact that it's a little bit harder to make it speak initially. So what would you say to somebody who's swapping between the two on a regular basis? Is there a particular thing you'd have in mind as you swap over?
I was a first study violinist till I did my master's, and used to play both very, very regularly until I really did become a violist. And the thing that helped me was to understand the C string in particular could be counterintuitive. So to play very fast and very loud on the C string, you need to take your point of contact further away from the bridge, which you'd have thought wouldn't be the case. And so things like that. And the A string on the viola, you need to really work the sound in a way that the E string, you need to start the sound. Yes, and it's just having this feeling of sync and enjoying this back of the instrument vibrating.
Yeah.
I mean, what for you is it when you're swapping over? What's the thing that you notice?
My arms get more tired, but I think that's a bad technique thing. I think because I sort of have to put, my arms are that much further out. I think I get more tension in my shoulder, so I'm very aware of trying to sort of keep my shoulders back and down and. I mean, it's not that much further, is it? I mean, I've got a lady's size viola here. It's not the most massive one, but my arms are only really that much further out. And yet psychologically, if I'm not careful, I can sort of think, I've got to press in harder. I've got to reach further. Oh, this is hard work. But actually, if I can just relax into it and let the sound just come out, it's not that bad, Jon. It's not that bad.
Not that bad.
I quite like it.
I wonder if you're thinking about the sizes of instruments, I always talk about having the balance of the V's. So you've got the V that's going up and the V that's coming down. Yeah. And if you want that sort of to be balanced between the sort of the center line of you, maybe on a viola, your arm shouldn't be in exactly the same place as a violin. I mean, maybe that's a thing. And that often we try and mirror the same both ways around. And actually, if you're thinking about where that center, there's my center line. So when I'm in the middle of the bow, I've got a square here and there's my center. So that should be opposite my shirt center, if you imagine the buttons, and opposite my nose. So therefore everything can come down. Now if I'm on a violin, that's going to be in a subtly different place, isn't it?
Well, so this is interesting, and I think it depends on the person, and it depends on the actual instrument that they're playing, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I know that I did nearly 10 years in the London Symphony Orchestra playing first violin. There I was at the edge of the stage, looking down my fingerboard and looking out to the audience, all this kind of thing. And as I, frankly, got older and a bit more relaxed, I thought, actually, it doesn't have to all look like I'm going into war. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So actually now I have it across to the left a bit more, and my line of sight will be to the conductor or to the music. Or to the audience if there's no music. Yeah. And actually I'm much more free now. So I move it round quite a lot when I play. Yeah. I don't feel so locked into one position. But is that old age? I don't know.
It's interesting. We have this conversation with my students a lot about how do you hold up this lump? You know, where is that lift coming from? You know, it can't be from your shoulder, because if you do that, then you've got so much tension going down your bicep and into your arm, then you can't shift and vibrate. But on the other hand, it can't just be from the left hand either, because then you also have to have a different technique. And I wonder, so I used to play the violin without a shoulder rest. And I wonder whether there's a sort of a middle ground here, in that I used to think about so caressing and holding without anything there, and there would be this nice flat table, and I'd use my thumb to help shift and all the rest of it. And then if you've got a shoulder rest on, in a sense, your left hand can almost hang from the instrument. So how can you hang off something that you're holding? It sort of blows the mind, doesn't it? Yeah. But that's how we have to sort of feel, and we need to feel the weight in the bottom of the elbow and be able to have the freedom of movement around the instrument that comes from hanging something off something you're lifting.
Yes.
So you love music.